stomped on his head consistently. And he has a mark on his cheek, as you saw. They took his gun.
The 27-year-old officer is a rookie with the department. He was on his way home from his shift early Saturday morning when he was brutally beaten blocks from his home in Westchester Square. Surveillance video showed the two men push him to the ground, hold a knife to his neck, and rob him of his wallet, phone, and gun.
He came to this country 5 years ago from Bangladesh, and his dream was to become a New York City police officer.
The video helped police track the pair to Virginia, where they found Tavon Hargrove on Tuesday. Lane Lucas was cuffed while trying to disguise himself in a wig. Back at home in the Bronx, the officer is now on his way home to recover from a nightmare he won't forget.
I'm going to stop it right here. He's walking. You can see he has his patrol pants on. He has an overcoat over him, right? And this is how quick this happens. You ready? Here it is. Two males. Boom. One hits him. Look, they hit him to the ground. Another guy puts a knife directly to his neck. Right there. They run in his pockets. And this is where they're finding everything. Right? Apparently, he was on the phone at this time. So, listen, I don't want to Monday morning quarterback anybody. This is, you see how fast it was. You see how fast it happened. I just need to say this. If you're on New York City streets, and there are two males approaching you fast with masks on, get distance from them immediately. Cross the street, move behind the car, do whatever you have to do. Do not walk towards them. I don't care if you're with your family. I don't care if you're with your elderly mother. Move to the side immediately and get out. If they start following you, pull your gun out on them and draw down on them. If they charge you, shoot them. This is, do you see how fast this is? And this could have, I'm not saying it could have been totally avoided, but what I'm saying is this cop's very lucky to be alive. And I'm not knocking him at all. We all make mistakes. We all get caught slacking. This could have been me. This could have been any one of us. I'm not saying anything. Like it is what it is, because I don't want my senses cut off for a lot of different reasons, whether it's vehicles, whether it's, oncoming vehicles, oncoming traffic, something's going on. You never know. And so, yeah, you're 100% right. Now you have a firearm and you're cutting your senses off? What are you, out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You know how quick that could get taken from you? 3 seconds. We just showed you. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. And so, like, and the other thing is like that hypervigilance. Listen, it sucks when you live in New York City, or where, if you live, I don't only want to just say New York City, but especially in New York City. But if you're a cop and you work where you live, the hypervigilance you have to have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is constant. And will that take a toll on you later in life? Yeah, it has with me. It has with a lot of people I know. But you have to have it. That's not just a training to know what store you're entering. You're off duty. You're off duty. You have the stupid cop pants on. Everyone thinks you're a cop or a security guard. Everyone thinks that more than likely you have a gun on you. And you're walking into a deli at 2:00 in the morning. Are you not going to look in that deli first to make sure maybe that's a situation I don't want to go into? Maybe that's not a good situation for me. Like, what are you thinking? Like, you have to have the right mind frame that you are on duty at all times. Does that catch up to you? Yeah. Will you suffer PTSD later on in life? Yes, you will. But you know what? You will have a later on in life. Pat Donahue says it here. It's 4:15 a.m. You're walking home. You see two guys dressed in all black with masks on approaching. Zero tactical awareness. Not saying the robbery wouldn't have happened, but spidey senses should have been ringing. And again, that brings me to the problem of when we're hiring people who are not ready to do this job, who are not aware of the dangers of what happened in New York City and what could happen in New York City. I mean, this isn't all, I'm off duty. I'm off duty. I could just go into this deli and not look and not make sure it's not getting robbed. And maybe, how many times I've went places at 2, 3 in the morning and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to get gas here. I'm going to get it somewhere else. Well, you know what? I'm not going to go in that deli. I'll wait till I get to another deli where I'm more familiar with. You know, you have to constantly be thinking in New York City. And my whole point is this is not stuff you should be learning as a New York City cop. This is stuff you should know as a human being, as an adult who lived in New York City, who understands the dynamics of the city. Because this is to me, it's common sense. You're 100% right. When I see those two dudes coming at me, I'm like, oh, they're gonna rob me. 100%. I see them down the block. It's 4:15 a.m. How many people are on the street? It's you and them. That's it. You know, again, I don't want to sit here and knock anybody, and I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes, and this could have happened to me, but it's got to be talked about. It's got to be talked about because it's not disrespecting him or disrespecting his family. This is, let's not see something worse happen because we're getting there. We're getting there. You know, Dim used to say it. Dim says it all the time. He says we're gonna see. He goes, unfortunately, we're gonna see a cop get killed with someone's hands because they're unprepared. They're not able to defend themselves, and we're going to see that, unfortunately. And we're already there. We've just been lucky. By the grace of God, this kid didn't get killed. By the grace of God.
Yeah. This is the importance of having veterans in the precincts to tell these guys, because you know, evidently it's, as we've talked about on Friday, they're making the standards are being obviously being lowered to get these guys into the academy and to fill the seats, because New York City has such a high demand, such a need for cops, right? But where's the veteran leadership where's the veterans in the police department to fill the gaps that the training in the academy doesn't do? Because I'll tell you this, like I learned a lot more. You know, I learned a lot more when I was in the street and talking to, just picking the brains of like the senior crime guys and like the veterans in the precinct than I did in the precinct, than I did in the police academy. And if you don't have these older guys in the precinct anymore, then there's no one to fill those gaps. There's no one to tell them, hey, listen, I saw you on patrol and I saw you stop that guy. Maybe you should have did this and do this and this and this. You know, there's no, if the job is, the job already has a problem with the training. And that's always been a big issue in this department, because again, the job needs so many cops, and you know, resources and allocating those resources probably has always been a big issue, you know, especially when it comes to training. And now on top of that, you don't have senior guys to impart that, what they've learned to younger guys. So Eric's absolutely right. We're going to see more of these issues go as the city gets even worse. You're going to see more of these issues come up. And I just hope that the few that are remaining there, you know, if you see a young guy doing something that you think is going to put him in a bad position, you let him know, you know, because if you don't let him know, he's going to end up getting hurt like this other officer. And it's not good, you know, hurt or even worse, you know, because like we said, his firearm could have easily been used on him.
Yeah. And, you know, and we used to tell guys like that all the time. Like the guy, you know, he gets on the job, he's wearing this medium shirt, the precinct shirt, and you see his gun, and we're like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Everybody knows you're a cop, bro. You're sitting up here like, what are you doing? Guess what? You walk in the bank's getting robbed, you're dead. You're dead. You're unprepared. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't need to tell everybody you're a police officer. You don't need to have the Punisher sticker with the blue line flag on your car. Never. Like, you don't need any of that stuff. You don't need anything identifying you as a police officer, as a gun owner. You do not need any of that stuff. All of that stuff is a danger to you. You know, you want to wear a t-shirt to work out in, that's fine. You know what I mean? But like, you're walking with your family. Come on, use your brain. Not everyone needs to know you're a cop. You're the biggest target there. Anthony DiMaggio says, only perps are sacrosanct to New York politician. Cops are not valued despite any brief praise occasionally offered in political speeches. And cops, they must remember this. And then Isabella Germano Burns. Perps watching cops park in the street, changing clothes, removing gun belts, portal to portal needs to stop. Give RMPs. It's 100% right. You know, we've seen time and time again where perps have watched cops do that and then break into that car, put their gun belt in the car, and like shame on the cop for just dropping your gun belt in your trunk and thinking nobody's watching you and not being cognizant of your surroundings. And then, hey, there's a gun in that trunk. I'm going to break into that car. I'm going to get all that stuff. And that's happened numerous times, you know, and because of stuff like this, you know, it to me, it shouldn't even be allowed. You should have to get changed in the locker room. You should have to what other agency in New York City? Could anyone answer me this? Is there another agency in New York City that is going to tell you to go somewhere and report somewhere on a dime, full uniform, anywhere? And you're driving on your own. I don't know of one. I don't know of one.
Yeah. Patrick Donahue in the chats has a great comment. He says, years ago, the department hired candidates who wanted to become cops for the most part. Currently, the department is just hoping to fill seats in the academy. Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I think I have a truck coming through. Yeah. So, Patrick is absolutely right on that. And I think the state of the economy actually might also be pushing people to join the police department just for a job. And you know, I think it's incumbent on the department to remind these guys that this is not a job that's like, it's not a game. You know, it's something that you really got to have your head into, because you can easily lose your life. You know, this isn't like an office job or, you know, some other regular job. This is something that you really have to have your head in the game. And if you're not prepared to have your head in the game, then you really should find another career choice. And having your head in the game does not, because you're carrying around a firearm, having your head in the game does not only include when you're on duty and on patrol. As you're seeing here, it includes when you're walking on the street and trying to get home. Because again, you have the gun on you. You in this case, the cop is wearing a uniform, and you give off the impression that you're a cop, and you may have something on you that they could certainly use, which is a firearm. So the job needs to prepare these guys better. And if you don't have your head in the game, I think you really should look at a different career choice.
Yeah. So Hoodmay is saying that, well, Daughtry wears the logo and so does Adams. Yeah. And they walk around with the largest security details we've ever had in New York City history. And they're afraid to go home, and they're afraid to walk anywhere, and they're afraid to do anything. Everywhere they go, including on vacation, they have a security detail with them. Kaz Daughtry's in Pennsylvania. He has a security detail with him. Anywhere he is, he has a security detail with him, right? He has constant 24-hour surveillance on himself. Right. And I'm not knocking them for it, but like, don't compare them to the regular cop who has absolutely nothing, you know, who has absolutely nothing. They're walking around the streets of New York, traveling on their own, like totally different situation, totally different scenario. That neither they didn't do it as cops, and they weren't going to do it as bosses either. They're not going to walk around showing that logo off without having a heavy presence around them. You see how they move in the streets of New York. That's how they move, you know. That's how they move. So, like, you know, it's not even comparable to them.
You've just watched a clip from our live episode. Click the description to watch the full episode. Like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this.